Hey there, John from e3coach.com here, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today what I want to go through is trail descents or mountain downhill running. Okay, so yeah, give you a little bit of an insight and some guiding points on how best to deal with this from a beginner even to advanced.
Ellie, Ellie, up, 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 up. Ellie, 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 up, 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 up.
No, only joking. You definitely don't want to start trying to descend like that. Oh, you'll find certain areas will wear thin very, very quickly. Now, on a more serious note, we are going to be looking at some proper trail running. Probably going to go through about 1.5 miles worth of downhill trail, picking up on the points that are really helpful and which will help you progress and growing confidence as well, because it's a massive confidence issue for a lot of people. Okay, so first pointer I want to make out is a lot of trail running or mountain running is going to start with a climb. Occasionally they do start with descents, but you're going to get a climb, and what you've got to remember is at the top of the climb you're going to have spent quite a while, possibly a couple of hours if not more, of making your way up, and then suddenly you're greeted with the downhill. And what's going to happen is your brain's going to have been switched off, and also your legs are going to be really tired. So going out and practicing technique fresh is really, really important. And by fresh I mean walking to a trail somewhere or somewhere that you know that you can utilize, and then walk up and then run down just a small segment, reassess how it was, what was positive, what was negative, and then revisit it like you would any other skill. It's really important that we practice these things when we're fresh so you can build a real positive muscle memory, okay, rather than flogging yourself up a hill, being exhausted and then stumbling your way down, which is what happens most of the time. Okay, so key point one is practice that skill in a safer, more controlled way before you start attacking things with fatigued legs. Okay, so enough talking for now, let's go and get on the trail. Okay, so we're at our first bit of sort of semi-technical trail. As you can see through here, there's rocks and there's roots and there's logs. The trail's pretty wide and it's not overly steep, so the way you want to approach this is you want to be keeping a good eye out in front of you, not too close to your feet, because there's nothing too big or nothing too soon, because it's not that steep, that's going to actually impact you, so you can control it from your visual further away. You can see there's nice rocks you can go to, jump off, bounce off, get a little bit of flight, okay, which is super important. You get a nice drop, it's a nice safe landing. Okay, there was nothing there, there was nothing too untoward, nothing crazy steep, so you can allow gravity at this point to do a lot of the work for you. As it starts to get a little bit steeper and rocks a little bit more frequently, you then start to bring your gaze a little bit more towards your feet, occasionally looking back up and out just to check if there's anything else coming up, back to the feet, and then looking out again, and you keep this going. Now, I'm not sure how clear it is with this camera, there's quite a lot of roots and quite a lot of rocks. What you've got to be making sure is, especially when those legs are tired, is that you've got a good element of lift. Okay, the tired legs will start to drag, and that's when we snag our feet, and that's not so good. So as you'll see now, which you get quite a lot of here in the alpine tracks, the 4x4 tracks. This one's pretty well kept. It's reasonably steep but pretty loose gravel, so again I can see a long way ahead of me and make sure that there's nothing untoward that I'm going to run into. But what I want to be doing now is thinking about my centre of gravity, my posture, my balance, and how I'm landing with my feet, because obviously gravel can become a little bit slippy. So it's keeping it light, letting my arms move around to act as some balance, as I call it, the Phoebe run from Friends. Actually helps to stabilise. Again, this kind of trail you can really open up and get some of those miles back, letting yourself relax into it, remove some of the tension, which obviously adds to the fatigue on the descent. Another really good thing about keeping yourself awake and alert is choosing your line. The trail's not too narrow and you can actually choose where you're going to go. Pick out that nice line. Okay, pick out areas where you know the ground's going to be firmer and safer, more secure. Then again, if you're feeling pretty fresh and confident, there's no reason why you can't actually try and push yourself in through some of the harder sections, which will help to teach you. Again, it's practicing that skill. So it's super nice, obviously, training underneath the shadow of Mont Blanc. So again, trail starting to get a little bit more technical. So I'm going to bring my gaze back towards my feet. Also, trails narrowing as well now, which is nice. A few rocks to quite comfortably jump over and see ahead that there's nothing too dangerous. Trying to keep the upper body relaxed. So, I'm going to be popping out of this trail very soon. So let's just go over some of the key points again. Key point is to practice this when fresh. So you've got the muscle memory building in a positive fashion. Okay. You don't want to just keep going at it every time you're exhausted. It's going to get frustrating. You're not going to actually improve your technique. Okay, and it definitely won't do anything to help your confidence. So that means breaking down little sections of trail, possibly even walking there, taking it nice and easy, and then running down them. Play with your speed, play with your approach, play with your different lines. Or you can jump on a mountain bike, which is always a little bit easier. But again, you've got to pick your line on a bike just as you're going to do on the trail running as well, which is super important. Next point, you've been climbing for a long time and you've got to then descend, so you're not going to be descending fresh. Okay, so you've got to snap out of that mentality of climb to descent, which is a sudden change, sudden flick of a switch to waking yourself up so you can focus on that downhill and what's ahead of you. Good preparation before going out on a trail, having an understanding of where you're going is also good, especially if it's an event, so you can build confidence on the descents, knowing what you've got ahead of you. Yeah, make sure you've got the foot lift. Okay, as tired as you're getting, the moment you let the foot lift go is when you're going to snag a toe and you're actually going to catch, and you will end up actually going head over heels. So that's really, really important that you focus on that foot lift, concentrate on what your feet are doing, and use that concentration to help keep you awake and to keep you focused on what you're doing. We mentioned as well on gravelly trail, where it's a little bit wider, is thinking about your body position, not leaning too far forwards or too far back so you're not going to slip, making sure you're getting a good footprint on the ground so it's absorbing more and creating more friction for you on the floor. One little trick you can do if it's not an overly complicated descent and you do lack confidence in going quicker, is do what I call the lean forwards, lean back. So it's a little bit of playing on accelerating. You don't really have to do much with your legs, you just lean your body forwards and this naturally builds up a little bit of acceleration, and to back it off you just lean backwards again and it starts to ease things off naturally. Okay, so that's something worth playing with, especially if confidence is an issue on the downhill for you. Okay, anyway, time to finish the trail off. Another tip for you if you're actually coming into a corner, it's a little bit different to how you would approach it. Say if you're on a bike and you're going out wide to come back in, you can keep yourself super tight, and what you're doing is looking to throw your shoulder around that corner and get your headline around nice and quick. So as you come in, the shoulder's gone around, and by bringing that shoulder around, you're bringing yourself into the direction of travel a lot sooner out of that bend. Okay, so drop that shoulder, swing it around the corner and you'll find it starts to bring you back around that corner nice and easily. Now, this was actually some of the more exciting part of the trail. So hopefully you can see I'm dotting around and picking my route and keeping alert, controlling my speed, not going too crazy. It's getting a little bit easier now. So as you'll see on this trail, which I know pretty well, there is a line that you can take, which is always going to make things easier. But let's just make one more really important point, which is don't ever feel pressured into running down it. If it's getting too much, pause, stop, take a look, what it's like, what you think, and then walk through. If you have to, walk through. It's much better that you get to the end of the day without, should I say, the gravel burn up your knees, broken sunglasses, etc. It's about building your confidence and you growing and feeling more comfortable on the trail, not about obliterating yourself into pieces and then losing all your confidence and then not wanting to go back out. So don't ever be afraid to just stop, take a pause, reassess, start again, stop again if you need to. But yeah, don't ever be afraid to. Anyway, I hope this has been really helpful. Hope you're finding the other videos helpful. Please do follow my YouTube channel. The idea of this is no training camps this year for myself, being able to run them, so it's a great way for me to be able to give insightful information to others to help you guys out there on the trails. Cheers, take care, bye.